For decades, Las Vegas built its reputation on generosity. Rooms were cheap, meals were endless, and shows felt within reach. Even an ordinary tourist could walk the strip and feel like royalty for a weekend. But that promise has vanished. Today, the city that once made everyone feel welcome is harder to recognize. What used to be a playground for regular people has turned into a machine built to extract as much money as possible. And the real shock is that it didn't just happen, it was engineered. So why should you care? Because what's happening in Vegas is bigger than one city. It's the story of how entertainment itself changes when corporations take over, and how the magic of a place can disappear almost overnight. In this video, we'll trace exactly how it happened and uncover the hidden changes that turned the most generous city in America into one of its most expensive. Reason number 8, the resort fee. For most visitors, the hefty resort fee in Las Vegas feels like a mandatory charge that was never clearly disclosed. Resort fees have become one of the most common hidden costs in the travel industry, and Vegas perfected it. Here's how it works. They advertise a room for $89 a night to get you interested. But when you check out, surprise, there's a mandatory $55 resort fee that you can't refuse, can't negotiate, and wasn't included in the price you saw online. Let me break down the math for you. MGM Resorts made $17.2 billion in revenue, and that is the highest in the company's history. That huge profit in just a year. Well, that's really shocking. So what exactly do they offer? They claim it covers Wi-Fi, pool access, and gym use. But a former MGM executive said that those services cost the hotel less than $5 per room per night to provide. So they're charging you $55 for $5 worth of services. That's 1,000% markup. But wait, it gets worse as the resort fees are designed to deceive you. The booking websites show you the low base rate to hook you, and only reveal the real price when you're already emotionally committed to the trip. It's psychological manipulation, pure and simple. Moreover, real people are getting destroyed by this. A family from Texas booked 4 nights at New York for what they thought was $89 per night. By checkout, between resort fees, taxes, and parking, they were paying over $200 per night. The mom posted on Facebook, "We had to skip meals to stay in budget. Our kids didn't understand why we couldn't afford to see shows after we'd already paid for the hotel." Another woman from Ohio, a teacher who saved all year for her Vegas trip, wrote, "The resort fees took half my entertainment budget. I sat in my room most nights because I couldn't afford to go out after paying all these hidden charges." This is happening to thousands of families every single day. Vegas is literally stealing people's vacations, but that was only the beginning. Once resort fees became standard, another charge appeared, one that made the Vegas experience even less welcoming. Reason 7, food and drinks. You see, Vegas used to be famous for cheap and good food. The $5 steak dinner wasn't just marketing. Rather, it was a promise that regular working people could eat like kings. Buffets were affordable family experiences where kids got excited about all-you-can-eat shrimp, and parents didn't worry about the bill. Those days are over. The Bellagio buffet cost $16 in 2000. Today, it starts from $70 and goes upward for weekend brunch. That's not inflation. That's a huge increase that far exceeds wage growth, cost of living increases, or any reasonable business justification. And the food isn't even better. TripAdvisor reviews show satisfaction ratings have dropped 34% since 2010, with people complaining about mediocre food, long waits, and rude service. But the real scam is in the hidden charges. There is around a $14 beer on the menu after taxes, service charges, and venue fees. It becomes $20. Order room service and a $25 burger becomes $45 after delivery fees, service charges, and automatic gratuities. They don't tell you about these extra charges until the bill comes. This isn't just about money, it's about trust. Vegas built its reputation on value. When a working family saves up for a Vegas vacation and gets costly on every meal, they don't just get angry about the money. Rather, they feel betrayed. They trusted Vegas to give them a good time, and instead, they got exploited. And if rising food and drink costs weren't enough, the next thing that once defined Las Vegas has become another signal of how the old promise is fading. Reason 6. Entertainment became unaffordable. As you all know, Vegas used to be the entertainment capital of the world because anyone could afford to see great shows. Casinos used affordable tickets to pack theaters, knowing that entertained customers would spend more money on gambling, food, and drinks. It was a win-win system that worked for decades. But now the entertainment industry is just another profit to extract maximum money from minimum customers. The average major show ticket costs over $120, but that's before Ticketmaster fees, convenience charges, and venue surcharges. By the time you're done, two people are paying $500 to $600 for a 2-hour show. Cirque du Soleil shows that used to cost $40 to $60 now start at $150. Comedy clubs that charged $25 in 2010 now want $90 for the same seat. Even small magic shows and lounge acts have priced themselves beyond middle-class reach. The result is that there are half-empty theaters and performers playing to corporate expense accounts instead of excited fans. At first, the audience used to be diverse, excited, and ready to have fun, with families, couples on dates, groups of friends celebrating. Now it's mostly business people checking their phones. The energy that made Vegas shows special is gone because the people who really love entertainment can't afford to be there. This creates a vicious cycle. High prices drive away the zealous audiences, leading to disappointing shows which justify even higher prices for premium experiences. Meanwhile, regular people who made Vegas famous are left out completely. That is one of the main reasons why corporate greed is destroying Vegas and its culture, but that doesn't end here. Another reason is the killing of the convention business, but overpriced shows aren't the only thing damaging the city. Even something as basic as the next one has turned into a nightmare. Reason 5, parking fees. For 60 years, parking was free in Vegas. Why? Because casino owners understood basic psychology. And if people have to pay just to walk in your door, a lot of them won't. Free parking was like a part of the Vegas promise. That ended in 2016 when MGM started charging for parking. Caesars, Wynn, and others quickly followed. Now you pay $20 to $40 a day just to leave your car in their garage. During big events, some places charge over $100. Think about that. You're paying $100 just for the privilege of walking into a casino where they hope to take more of your money. The impact of huge parking fees is immediate and devastating. A UNLV study found that 73% of locals now visit the Strip less than once a year, compared to 40% in 2010. The primary reason is the rise in parking fees. But here's what really goes wrong. These aren't struggling businesses trying to cover costs. Internal documents show that parking fees generate much of the profit for these companies and casinos. The actual cost of operating a parking garage, security, maintenance, and utilities is less than $3 per car per day. That means they're charging $30 to $50 for something that costs them only a few dollars to provide. That's not hospitality, that's a profit model built on markups. That's why the convention industry is fleeing because of this greed. Rather, meeting planners are choosing Austin, Orlando, and Phoenix instead. One convention organizer said that when they're moving 50,000 attendees and everyone has to pay $30 a day to park, that's $1.5 million in additional costs that didn't exist 5 years ago. Other cities are looking really attractive right now. So in short, this corporate greed in the form of parking fees has made Vegas a nightmare for millions of visitors around the world. And it doesn't stop there. Vegas even destroyed one of its most beloved traditions, and that is the legendary comp system. Reason 4, they killed the comp system. If you're old enough to remember Vegas in the 80s and 90s, you remember comps. Free drinks while you played, free meals, free show tickets, sometimes even free rooms. It didn't matter if you were a high roller or just playing penny slots. Anyway, Vegas made you feel special. That feeling kept people coming back for decades. The psychology was brilliant. Even if you lost $200, you got a free steak dinner and felt like a winner. The casinos understood that the experience was worth more than the immediate profit. Happy customers become loyal customers, and loyal customers spend more money over time. All of that is gone now. It is replaced by computer algorithms that calculate your exact theoretical value and offer rewards accordingly. There is no relationship building, and it's just cold math. If the computer says you're worth $10 in comps, you get exactly $10 in comps, not a penny more. The numbers are brutal. In 1995, the average Vegas visitor received about $47 in complimentary value per day. By 2024, that dropped to $12. Meanwhile, the amount of money visitors lose per day has increased by 340%. So casinos are taking more money and giving back dramatically less. The result of all is that the customer loyalty is at historic lows. People used to plan their whole year around their Vegas trips. Now, it's become a one-and-done experience because there's no emotional connection, no reason to feel special about any particular casino. And if the loss of comps wasn't enough, Vegas has also replaced the people who made the city warm and pleasant. Razun. 3. Computers replaced people. This is the most devastating change of all. Vegas used to run on human connections. The dealer who remembered your name, the cocktail waitress who knew your drink, the host who surprised you with show tickets because you'd been having a rough trip. These moments of genuine hospitality created emotional bonds that kept people coming back for decades. All of that has been replaced by algorithms. Revenue management systems adjust room prices every few minutes based on weather, convention schedules, and your personal browsing history. A room that costs $89 on Tuesday becomes $299 on Thursday, not because demand increased, but because computers predict you'll pay more. Customer service is now handled by AI bots. Mobile apps have eliminated most human interaction. The comp system is completely automated. Where casino hosts once had secrets to reward loyal customers based on relationships, everything is now determined by theoretical loss calculations. A player who visits Vegas 20 times a year and consistently loses $200 and gets treated exactly the same as a first-time visitor with identical statistics. The computer can't account for loyalty, personality, or the value of a long-term relationship. The results speak for themselves. Vegas casinos report record profits, while customer satisfaction scores hit historic lows. They're making more money from people who enjoy the experience less and are less likely to return. It's a business model built on extracting maximum value from one-time transactions rather than building lasting relationships. And this business model made Vegas worse after Wall Street took over its casinos and most of the construction projects. Reason 2, Wall Street takeover. Let me tell you one of the reasons why Vegas really died. It was the 1990s. Wall Street came in and offered Steve Wynn to construct the Mirage and other resorts like Bellagio, Mandalay Bay, and Luxor. So a love affair between Wall Street and Vegas started, and it was the start of a downfall for the latter. Before that, Vegas was run by people who understood something simple. They kept customers happy so that they would keep coming and spending money. But then MGM went public in 1990, and then Caesars followed. Suddenly, these weren't entertainment companies anymore. They were investment vehicles for shareholders who demanded bigger profits every 3 months. And if you've ever worked for a public company, you know what that means. Everything gets sacrificed for the quarterly earnings report. The numbers tell the whole story. In 1990, Vegas had over 20 different casino companies running properties on the Strip. Today, there are fewer than 10. MGM and Caesars control most of it. But here's where it gets really ugly. After the 2008 market crash, private equity firms like Apollo Global Management stepped in and bought up distressed casinos. They loaded Caesars with $18 billion in debt, fired thousands of workers, and stopped maintaining the properties. Then they paid themselves $1.7 billion in management fees while the company collapsed. When Caesars finally went bankrupt in Unaffordable to 2015, guess who got stuck with the bill? Not Apollo. They walked away with their billions while workers lost their jobs and customers got worse service. A former Caesars employee said that from being a hospitality company to a financial engineering experiment, they didn't care about guests or employees. They just made their profit. Between 2010 and 2020, Vegas casinos cut 15% of their workforce, despite having more visitors than ever. More customers, fewer workers, worse service, higher profits. That became the new Wall Street model for Las Vegas. Last but not the least is the decline in something that used to be the heartbeat of Vegas for decades. But it is gone now. Reason 1, convention business decline. You see, Vegas became the convention capital of America by offering something simple, great facilities at reasonable prices. Its business model was genius, which was to charge fair rates for meeting space, then make money from thousands of attendees eating, drinking, and gambling. Conventions brought billions in economic impact because they filled hotel rooms, restaurants, and entertainment venues. Corporate greed destroyed this golden. Chance convention attendance peaked at 6.6 million in 2019, but dropped to 5.1 million by 2024, a 23% decline that goes way beyond pandemic recovery. Not only that, Vegas saw a 12% decline in visitors and hosted about 3.1 million people. Meeting planners are fleeing to Austin, Orlando, and Phoenix because Vegas has become too expensive and too hostile to work with. The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority's own data shows that 47% of meeting planners cite excessive costs as their primary concern about hosting events in Vegas. These aren't just hotel rates. It is like a rising sky of hidden fees that make every aspect of a convention more expensive than advertised. To make matters worse, convention centers now charge technology fees for basic electrical outlets, security fees for standard services, and cleaning surcharges that appear automatically on invoices. A 2024 industry analysis found that the true cost of hosting a Vegas convention is 40% higher than advertised once all mandatory fees are included. Gary Shapiro, who runs the consumer electronics show CES, Vegas's biggest annual convention, has publicly blasted the city's rising pricing practices. In a recent statement, the Consumer Technology Association warned that Vegas risks losing CES entirely if costs continue rising. On top of that, he said our attendees are spending 60% more on basic amenities compared to 5 years ago, with no improvement in service quality. When your biggest and most loyal customers are threatening to leave, you know you've crossed a line. But Vegas executives don't seem to care. They'd rather squeeze maximum profit from fewer events than maintain the relationships that made the city successful. Last but not least is that computers replaced human beings at every corner in Vegas. What began as America's playground, a place where anyone could feel special for a weekend, has become a carefully engineered business model that divides visitors into profitable and unprofitable categories. Yet none of this was inevitable. For more than 50 years, the city thrived by making everyone feel welcome, offering real value, and proving that hospitality was about connection as much as revenue. The question now is whether Las Vegas can find its balance again. Can the Strip restore the sense of value and welcome that made it iconic, or will it remain a destination defined by fees, markups, and short-term gains? The neon lights will keep shining, but what they represent is still up for debate. What do you think? Is Las Vegas heading for a revival or a slow decline? Let us know in the comments, and for more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe.